Hello, my friendos. How are y'all doing? It's been a while. I took me a little mental health weekend, which is coincidence because we're going to talk about how absolutely insane truckers are today, and I am not immune to that. So we'll talk about that more a little bit later, but as you guys know, sometimes I get myself a little bit fired up here on YouTube, and I've decided that when I start to notice that I'm getting a little off the rails, starting to act a little bit crazier than usual, maybe I should just, you know, pull back for a little bit, not say a word, not come on here and complain, and just do my thing. So I missed Friday's video for anybody that missed me, and I missed Sunday's live stream. I just shut it all down for the weekend, and it was sorry, it was a pretty good weekend. I'll tell you about it here in a bit. I will. Okay, before we get into it though, we do have a couple more thank yous for super thanks on the last video. That's apparently where you watch my videos and decide that I deserve money for making you a video. And I appreciate you so much. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. First, we're gonna get Trucker Wood. Now listen, I can only ever do this one time because it ruins the joke after that. So Trucker Wood said, hey, I thought about giving you $5, and it is the thought that counts, isn't it? So can I get a shout out? Yes, you can, Trucker Wood, because it is the thought that counts, but only this time only, because next thing you know, I'm gonna get 400 of you shitheads in the comments saying, I thought about doing it too, and then I'm just gonna have to make videos where I shout out your names from now on, and that's all I do, and I don't have any time for any content, and then people are going to stop watching my videos, and then I'm going to have to go back to truck stop prostitution. Please don't make me do that again. It's a filthy job. So Trucker Wood is the one and only shout out for he thought about doing it, thought about giving me $5. Thank you, Trucker Wood. I appreciate the thought. Then we've got Billy Big Rig. He sounds intimidating, but he seems friendly because he sent me $10. So thank you, Billy Big Rig. I appreciate that. And then this morning I woke up and saw that a kind man by the name of Eric had sent $100 on the last video. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate you, man. Thank you guys. Thank you for everything with helping support the channel, watching, subscribing, liking the videos, whatever it is that you do. I appreciate you so much for your support. We're growing pretty good around here. So today we're going to talk more about batshit crazy truckers, because you know what happens after you lock yourself in a truck all by yourself for years? You start to lose your goddamn mind, right? That's a real thing. So, this video idea was prompted by a very hilarious comment, and we'll start the story there. So I did the video about our real punchy truckers, right? The guys that are out there swearing to God that they punch everything they see and they fight everyone that even so much as looks at them funny on Fuel Island. And well, we all know that's not really true. Now, that's not to say that an unhinged trucker might not assault you sometime on a fuel island, because that could happen too, because, well, it turns out there's no shortage of unhinged truckers. But a lot of times, it's all fantasy. And that's what I find amusing, right? And it just kind of explains what happens to our brains when we spend too much time alone. So on that video where I was talking about our violent truckers that want to fight everyone out here because they heard a joke on the internet that pushed them over the fucking edge, apparently, and you know, I just had to make fun of that. And I got a comment that was hilarious. The guy was saying that you know, back in his day when he was a younger trucker, he used to get, and maybe I'm paraphrasing or even exaggerating, or maybe I forgot exactly what the fuck he said, but he was saying that he gets in like 36 fights per year, 36 of them every year, and then he'll do like another 12 on Fuel Island, you know, and he's always out there just fucking people up. And me being me in the comment section, right, guys, I was like, well, that sounds kind of silly. What the hell are you doing out there fighting with everybody? And he goes, that's how men solved our problems back in the day. And I said, that didn't make your case any stronger, right? You were really upset, like, by what? Did you get cut off in traffic? Because that happens. What is it that caused this other man to have so much emotional control over you that all you knew how to do was throw your fist around and fight people? I don't want other men to have that much control over me myself. And I was just kind of making fun of him like I do, right? Because who's keeping track of this stuff? Well, apparently this guy, he gets in 36 fights and 12 additional ones per year. So once a month, he does the Fuel Island fight, which is the main event, right? That's the main event when it comes to trucker street fighting. Fuel Island is where it all goes down, right? That's when you know you've made it to the top, right? When you start fighting people on Fuel Island. And this guy's doing 12 of them a fucking year. That's impressive. And I was just kind of joking around back and forth with him, like, yeah, that sounds pretty silly to me, and maybe a little bit made up. And he goes, no, it's true. And that's why millennial women aren't dating millennial men anymore, because you're all a bunch of pussies, which was funny. I laughed. And they want to come date men like us. That's why they're dating Gen X. And I mean, maybe there's occasions where that happens, where like a millennial is like, hey, that Gen X dude is kind of cute, I'm gonna go date him or whatever. I don't doubt that that's a thing, but I don't believe even for a second that all the millennial women are going, where's Gen X at? Where are all the real Gen X men? You know, the ones that drank from the garden hose? We're looking for them, goddammit, the real men. And I just don't believe that's a thing that's happening, right? As a matter of fact, I've been around a women, well, maybe just one, I don't know. Who fucking knows with me, right? But I've been around women in my day, and I've been with, you know, a wide range of women in my time, right? And, you know, you start with you know what, I don't even want to go into all that, because I'm going to say some crazy shit. So I don't even want to go into that. But what I know is there are, like, women do want to, look, this isn't fact, this is just me talking. I'm not telling you how to, like, pick up women. This isn't a course on getting chicks, all right? Because look at me. Really? You're asking me how to do it? I don't fucking know. Anyways, I'm sure there are, though, in most cases, women obviously want to feel protected. Like, hey, this man can protect me and take care of me. But in most of the conversations I've had with women, they don't like walking around with guys that are just flying off the fucking handle every second and wanting to fight everyone. As a matter of fact, it gets pretty embarrassing when that's their whole mindset, right? So I didn't believe him for a minute. But the point is, I want to know that man. I do. I want to meet up with him and not fight him, goddammit. I'm not inviting him to a fight. Not everything's a goddamn fist fight, all right? But I want to meet up with him and go to a truck stop bar, and he can tell me every wild fucking story he made up in his own head while he was just driving the truck down the road. All these fantastic, fascinating things that he does, right? And I think it would be fucking awesome, you know? So you're just sitting there having a beer, about third beer into it, he's like, so anyway, I was driving across Oklahoma when I noticed that my gallon jug from Flying J was empty. So I rolled on into the next truck stop and filled that fucker full of Mountain Dew. And as I was cashing out, the millennial cashier jumped over the counter and into my arms, and she goes, oh my God, aren't you Gen X? I know how you guys like to fight everything. And he and I was like, hell yeah, I am. And she said, please take me to your truck right now. And he said, just let me finish buying this Mountain Dew. And then I threw her over my shoulder and I carried her back to my truck. And just as we were starting to get into it, right, just as we were getting started, 3 truckers got up into the cab of my truck. One of them was a biker, Hell's Angel, 1%er. And they said, we've been looking for you, son. You've been traveling all over the country, taking all our millennial women, and we've been tracking you across 32 states, and we finally caught you slipping. And I just reached back, and that old Hell's Angel was standing right there, and I backhanded him so hard his neck shattered in 3 places. And I looked at those other truckers and I said, get out of here, clean up your mess, get on out of here. And then the millennial girl, she's staring up at me, and I slapped her on the ass and I said, you can finish now. And she did. And then I told her the same thing, clean up your mess and get out of here. There's 2 other millennial women waiting for me the next town over. And like, just to sit there and listen to that guy tell me all the stories he makes up as he drives the truck would be worth every bit of sitting through that guy's awful fucking stories, just so I have something to laugh at later, because we all know it's all made up. But that's okay. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. We as truckers spend a lot of fucking time by ourselves, right? Absolutely a lot of time, to the point it's not good for us at all. You've got all the time to drive down the road and just think, right? just think about what's going on. And for a lot of us, honestly, a lot of us, our lives aren't that great. Like, we're just by ourselves all the time, right? There's people that miss us, there's people we miss, and we just get to sit here with our own crazy thoughts and fucking think, and that's no fun. But that's how you end up in a truck stop bar somewhere with somebody telling you the most amazing backing story you've ever heard. I mean, still my favorite to this day is the guy that was down in LA and he had to do a blindside back straight off the fucking interstate because apparently he thinks no one else has ever been to LA. There's no loading dock straight off the interstate. It's an interstate, silly. What the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, he had to do a blindside back straight off the interstate, and they had to call in the cops and shut down that whole interstate so he could get that rig backed in. But it didn't take long, 10 minutes, he was in and out, and no big deal. I mean, come on now. We all know that you don't back into a dock straight off the fucking interstate, silly. What the hell are you talking about? But that's where this kind of shit comes from, right? And that's how we get there. I'm sorry, I'm trying to collect my thoughts here because I wanted to talk more about how all of us are batshit crazy. And I understand that I am. I completely get it. Like, I'm like a little out of my mind, but not so far out of my mind that I don't realize it anymore, if that makes any fucking sense. Yes, I'm a little bit fucking crazy. I sit here by myself all the fucking time. And here's the thing that drives me fucking nuts, man. Like, I'll block a motherfucker straight up, like right away in the comments when they come here and they start diagnosing me. They're like, oh, this guy seems a little bit bipolar. Geez, you think? Are you fucking sure about that, fucking Captain Obvious? I might be a little bit bipolar. I'm in the goddamn truck by myself for 10 fucking years now. And what is wrong with you people that do that? Show some goddamn compassion. I've been in this truck for 10 years, and the first thing you want to point out is I might be a little bit crazy. As my mother used to say, no shit, Sherlock, what the fuck is wrong with you? Of course I am, right? But I go a little bit crazy when people are like, when the guys... I'm sorry, I just laugh at my silliness sometimes, just whatever. But people will like diagnose me with, what's the other one? There's like a really bad one, schizophrenia, right? I think that's the one where like the voices tell you to kill your grandmother and shit like that. And like schizophrenia is like a really bad one. And I'm not that. I'm clearly not that. But anyways, people need to stop diagnosing motherfuckers in the comments section. Just what an asshole thing to do, right? Do you do that to everybody that's been isolated for the last 10 years? You know, do you walk up to prisoners? I mean, it's a little different from prison, right? But like, you'd be like, you see somebody that just got out of prison and you're like, is there something wrong with you mentally or something like that? Yeah, stupid. Of course there is. The guy just spent 10 years in prison. There's probably a lot wrong with him, right? And I'm not making fun of the prisoner. Please don't come kick my ass on Fuel Island. I'm just saying that isolation tends to do that, right? I just love the crazy stories, and I think a lot of times that's why this guy trucks gets like hate directed towards him, because I kind of make fun of it, right? It's like, we all know that these stories aren't true, and it's fine. Like, if they're fun to tell, of course they are. They're fun to sit around and bullshit and try to one up the next guy with the story you just made up, but at the same time it's kind of funny to just make fun of it too when you kind of, you know, hear it going on. So for me, my friends, I was talking about earlier, I just had to kind of unplug for the weekend, right? And I didn't do that fully, but just get away from YouTube. Don't worry about making a video. Don't worry about doing a live stream, and just kind of pull away from all of it. Because Friday, I came to a realization that I probably came to a lot of years ago, but I finally decided to act on it, right? Let me explain. Years ago, when I first discovered that there was such a thing as trucking YouTube, truckers making YouTube videos, I had somehow found myself sort of in the wrong group, right? And I don't really know how I got there, but there weren't a lot of people to choose from, right? And I've made fun of this on a number of occasions, but it's just like a bunch of gossiping old ladies just talking about this guy and that guy and all these things. And somewhere along the line, I'll be honest with you guys, it kind of became like almost an addiction for me. I had gotten like so wrapped up in these stories, these 10-year storylines that I've been following, right? Of this guy did this, and I'm going to say this about this guy and all this stuff. And I fully acknowledge that it's absolutely as silly as it sounds. And then, obviously, here, I'm going to say something really arrogant just to fucking do it, right? These guys all know who I am. And then I did the crazy thing of making videos that people like watching. Yeah, that's right. Oh, this guy trucks. Gets a few people to come in and watch, right? And then because I did that, you know, I frequently became a target of all this nonsense also from this certain group. And then I got in the bad habit, my friends, of going to listen to what they were saying about me. What did I do this time? What are they so upset with old this guy trucks about this time? And I have been trying for years to just walk the fuck away from all that. Like, why am I here? Why do I care so much about all this? Because out of the entire group, and I'm not trying to talk shit, I'm just saying it's a bunch of people talking about how everyone else is doing the wrong thing, but there isn't a single fucking one of them amongst the whole group that's doing the right thing. It's just, all it is coping for how shitty your own life is going, right? So you might as well shit on the next guy over there so that you can feel a little bit better for a while about the stupid shit you did and how it didn't work out for you, right? And that is trucking in general, right? That's why a lot of trucking can be such a hostile environment, because check this out. Every one of us that thinks we're doing better than the other guy over there, we're all doing the same shit. We're just driving the goddamn truck down the road. None of us is really doing anything that impressive. I mean, you can get into some specialized stuff, you know. You're hauling one of those fucking windmill blades down the road. That's kind of cool, right? Doing some heavy haul shit. There's nothing wrong with that. But the rest of us jackasses that didn't really try that hard, ain't nobody doing no better than the rest, right? So I decided on Friday, my friends, I don't know how much you guys care about all this, but hey, if you're here to hang out with me, then I expect that you're following the journey, right? And I fully acknowledge that sometimes I'm out of my fucking mind, and there's a reason for it, right? There's reasons for it, and sometimes I have to think about how much of this can I actually control, and you know, what can I do? So I actually went through and I unsubscribed to every one of those channels, every one of them that I would watch, just unsubscribed. And then I went through my YouTube search history, and anybody I've ever searched before in that community or somewhat related to it, I just deleted them completely from my search history. And now when I'm going through YouTube looking for something to listen to or watch, if one of their videos come up, I push the little button that says don't recommend this channel anymore. What I'm saying is I'm breaking up with all of them. I just can't anymore. It's not you, it's me. Whatever needs to happen here. But I just, for my own mental sake, I just fucking can't anymore. I just can't do it. It felt nice, but that's why my absence happened this weekend too. I actually ended up shut down for the weekend, which was my own damn fault, because I decided to accept a load to the Northeast that was going to deliver Friday evening. Well, in the Northeast, you start to get a little bit kind of limited options, but it's okay, because I really realized that I needed the fucking time off. So Friday was cool. I got to meet up with an old friend. We went to a casino. I only ever take $100 to the casino. That's all I ever take. If I lose $100, well, then tough luck. Life goes on, right? And I went in with my $100. Turns out I still got it on that old blackjack table, my friends. I would say on the roulette table too, but there's a little less skill involved with that. But I mean, I walked in with my 100, I got it up to 900, and then I wanted to play a few big spins on the roulette table that didn't go my way, but I left with $500 in my pocket. So I can't be mad about that. That was very fucking therapeutic, you know? And then my friend, he had a bunch of, I guess, comp points at that casino, so we ate real good too. We ate real goddamn good. And that's what I did Friday. Saturday, he helped me to run some errands, so I got the wall mount for my my monitor, so that's mounted up now. I got me 3 more vapes, so I'm good on vaping for the next month now. And I got me some speakers for the truck to hook up to my laptop or to that monitor, so now I got some good sound system And, you know, I used a little bit of my winnings to buy that. I used a little bit of my winnings to buy that stuff. But, hey, it was all good. It was all good. And then Sunday, wait, let me think about this. Then after I ran errands on Saturday, I spent the rest of the night partying all by myself. Yeah, I sure did. What the fuck else was I gonna do, right? Might as well get out the truck, have some damn fun. And then Sunday, I found out that I'm way too damn old to be acting like that, so I laid around in the truck all day, taking naps off and on until I woke up this morning, Monday, ready to go to work. So that's what we did. But the point I'm making with all that is, I obviously was like, oh, I need to get the video out, I need to do the live stream and all this stuff, but I was kind of hitting a point. I'm sure a lot of you guys know. I don't like it necessarily when you tell me in the comments that I'm starting to act crazy. I'm like, well, you son of a bitch. What the fuck are you telling me for, right? I don't necessarily like it, but I was starting to hit a point where I was kind of, you know, getting a little in my head again, you know, getting all emotional and in my feelings and shit. And it was the perfect opportunity to just walk away from YouTube for the weekend and just kind of do my own thing. But I do appreciate like all the support, guys. Just sometimes it's a little much for me and I need to like make decisions to just not put out the video for, you know, a couple days or whatever. And then I think I'll be fine. But anyways, what else did I want to talk about on this? Just crazy ass truckers. I mean, the guy at the beginning of the video, the comment I was talking about is, I'm not trying to make fun of him specifically. Like, a lot of people feel like I go out of my way to target individuals, but I'll use a lot of the stories for, like, hopefully a lot of you catch on. You're all smarter than me. I'm dumb as hell. But it's to make that broader point almost all the time, is that this is such a mentally unhealthy lifestyle, being a truck driver. And it's just common. I think at this point it's just completely common for us to absolutely lose our minds after a while and just whatever you need to get through the day, right? Like if you're that guy at the beginning that has convinced himself that he's always in fist fights, and we know he's not. We know that's not true, but it's almost sort of like, I guess maybe a coping mechanism. I'm not really a therapist myself, but just something to kind of keep your mind occupied and help pass the time and just come up with all these crazy scenarios just to kind of keep your mind going, right? And that's okay. I think that's okay. I think where it gets a little problematic is when you start making your crazy everyone else's problem, right? Like if I don't know, I probably do it to you guys every day, but I'm just trying to think of something. Like if I tried to tell you that I kick the shit out of 12 people every month and you were like, I don't believe you, and then I got mad at you for it, then that's probably a sign that you're actually going crazy because you're believing what you're saying. And then when people doubt it, you're like, that motherfucker doesn't believe that story I just made up and told myself over and over so many times until I thought it was completely true. And for that, I am offended. I am very offended by that. But, oh, I wish all that would stop. I really do. It's like, we're really not badasses, guys. Like, okay. On Thursday, no, it was Friday. On Friday, while I was still driving, I pulled into a Love's, and there was a Prime driver outside of his truck, probably waiting for me, right? He's probably like, I'm sick of this guy and his Prime jokes, and he was just waiting for me. But when I pulled up, I noticed he was outside of his truck and there was a bunch of stuff laying on the ground. I didn't really pay attention to what it was. And I backed in next to him and I said, I didn't say anything. You know why I didn't say anything? Because the fucking guy was out there lifting weights and he was like fucking ripped, right? So you know how many Prime jokes I had to make to that guy as I walked by? None, because I didn't want to get my ass kicked by a Prime driver, because then I got to come to the internet. You know, it's going to be bad enough if I ever actually do get my ass kicked at the fuel island, but if I got to come tell you guys it was a Prime driver, man, that's going to be real fucking embarrassing for me. So I don't think I want that to happen. So I was very polite to him, very cordial. How do you do, sir? As I walked by, because that guy could have beat the shit out of me. Anyways, that's all I got for now. I got to get this upload and get back on the road. Bye now.